And the chronic crutch that men get into is we use the I have to do this for my family mindset. And at the end of the day, that's not true. When you're stuck doing things that you don't like doing, don't. If you're stuck doing things that you don't love doing, don't. There's always another solution that you can find if you're willing to look for it. But a lot of men just get stuck thinking this is the only way that it is. This is just, I work this job because I have to. I work this job because it's the only thing for me. And it's like, that's not true. There's so many, live in the world of possibilities that you can go find to do anything that you want. And if you can't find the job that you want, you can go create the job that you want. We live in a world where you can literally create the business and the model and the job that you want if you're willing to pursue it. Because you love that thing, you can develop that thing. If that's your job, that's your job. If that's the workforce, that's the workforce. If that's your kids, that's your kids. But you got to figure out what are the things that you actually love. And at the end of the day, you can't identify those things if you don't have right priorities. And so you have to be able to sit down and identify what are the priorities that actually matter to you. What are the priorities in your life that are the most important? This is a great exercise to do with your wives, but at bare minimum, you should do it yourself as the man of the house. You should sit down and write out on a piece of paper if you were to put the number one priority in your life. What is the number one priority? Here's how I recommend doing this exercise. Start right now by identifying the things that you spend the most time, energy, effort, and money on right now. Write those things on a list from greatest to least. If it's job and you spend the most time at your job out of anything else and you don't give anything the amount of time that you give your job, write down job as number one. If you spend the most amount of money on your kids' sports, because that's the thing that you're spending the most money on right now, or traveling, or whatever it is, write down the things in order of the things that you're spending the most amount of money on, the most amount of time on, and the most amount of mental energy on. Then on a different piece of paper, write down on a list the things that are the top priorities to you. And I'll bet a lot of money that these two lists are very different right now inside of your life. And it's not because you're a bad person. It's not because you're a bad man. It's not because you're not trying. It's because as we go day to day in life, these things get flipped around. And we look at the things that we think are important that we don't like or love. And we put more mental energy, more physical time, and more money into those things. When really, if I sit down and I go, I love my kids the most, I want to develop them.